Here.
Councilmember Kaiser,
Here.
Councilmember Ona Sorosin,
Here.
Mayor Adams, Councilmember Budaszewski,
Here.
Councilmember Cummings, Councilmember Ibdo. You have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have an agenda in front of us. Do I have approval for the agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right. And a second?
I will second that.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. I believe we have a proclamation that I will read at this time. This proclamation, the City of Crystal proclamation is for Veterans Day. Whereas America seeks to recognize and pay tribute to the dedicated veterans who have served this great nation with such distinction, both in peacetime and in war. And whereas our community has continued sense of gratitude to those who have given so much in defense of the freedoms that we continue to enjoy. And whereas the greatest acknowledgement of our freedom is to honor our armed forces veterans who have sacrificed and in many instances paid the ultimate price of our freedom. And whereas we, along with millions of other Americans, can attest to the importance of their sacrifice for and contributions to our freedom and security. Now, therefore, I, John Budaszewski, as Mayor Pro Tem, do hereby proclaim Monday, November 11th, 2024, as Veterans Day in Crystal in honor of these dedicated men and women who protect our principles of freedom and democracy. Dated this 15th day of October, 2024. Thank you. All right. Let me go back to my agenda here. I'm sorry. Next thing, we have a consent agenda. The council will consider the following items, which are routine and non-controversial in nature, and in a single motion. Okay. The approval of the minutes from the following meetings: the joint City Council and West Metro Fire Board District Board work session on August 14th, 2024, the City Council work session on October 1st, 2024, and the City Council meeting on October 1st, 2024. Also, the approval of the list of license applications submitted by the city clerk to the City Council, a list that's on file in the office of the city clerk, and an approval of the 2025 regular City Council meeting and work session schedule, and adoption of the 2025 fee schedule. Is there a motion?
Well, I just was going to point out on the joint council session, work session meeting minutes, I am not listed as being present,
So we have-
although I was there.
That
But
needs to be updated.
And then I'd like to, I'm not sure the proper language, but I'd like to move item 4.4, the fee schedule, to our regular agenda. Or I'd just like to have some questions on that.
Okay. So you want to make an amendment to the consent agenda to move 4.4 to our regular?
That, or can I just ask my questions now and leave it on the consent agenda?
Great. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So I just have some questions on item 4.4, our fee schedule. And this is just educational things for me. So my first question, as I'm looking at the fee schedule, specifically like street lights, sewer, storm drainage, it says there's these column headers that say block rate, rate charge, and minimum bill charge. Can someone just define what that means, those mean?
Will we need to have the expert come up and explain that to us?
Yes, I can.
Jesse, are you available?
think the first one, if I'm looking at it correctly.
Trouble running well.
What's the department it's listed?
First one that was.
I don't see it, it doesn't, it just says utility. That's the first column, is utility, then rate code, then sequence, then type.
Oh, under utility for sewer, right?
Yeah,
That's for commercial properties for the block rate?
yeah, I mean, I'm just asking what the definition is of those three columns, block rate, rate charge, and minimum bill charge. I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
across the top.
Well, the minimum bill charge is, there's a minimum for every property, whether or not there's additional usage, but both for residential and commercial.
Okay,
That's what the minimum charge is.
okay,
So then the usage is going to be everything above that minimum charge. And that's just for just having the active service. Oh, these columns. So the rate charge then is the, per, how many gallons? It's, gonna go through a couple of here. Depending on which tier they're at, so depending on the number of units, on this, I think it's the page 4 of that, or maybe it's, right, actually, no.
yeah,
There's the residential tier sizes and commercial tier sizes.
yep,
That's the, those are the rates for those different tiers.
okay.
Right spot, Jesse.
Yes, I believe so.
And then the block rate, Jesse, do you have more information on the block charge?
Yeah, those block rates, you mean like the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3? Is that what you're referring to by blocks?
No, it's hard to see on that screen. So here we have these block charges for the type, depending on, so if the basic charge, then it's the rate. If it's block, this block rate.
Yeah, so a lot of times, depending on consumption, I believe, that's, every business has defined as a certain tier, I believe is how it goes with these, based on consumption. And then if they're a higher user, I would imagine that block rate goes up versus the smaller users. These fees have been part of the rate study for or part of this fee schedule for quite a long time. We did not propose any changes on these ones for 2025.
Okay. Yeah, again, I'm just trying to understand what these fees are. So I guess I still don't quite understand what a block rate is.
I can certainly dig into that in more detail and get back to you of what is defined as block or,
Yeah. I mean, I see what
tier
you're
1,
saying.
tier 2, tier 3.
Yeah, it obviously increases as the tiers increase.
Yep.
Is it like a physical, like geographic block or?
No, the block charges are based on usage usually. So, I mean, it could be a relatively small facility, but if they use a lot, like if they're doing a lot where they're discharging a lot of water into
Sure.
the sanitary sewer, that's what triggers those tiers typically is usage, not necessarily by location in the community or even size of the user.
Okay. Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. Couple other questions. Okay, now I'm on the recreation and the pool. So, I have noticed that for park damage and compliance deposits, we're doubling those. So 100% increase. I'm just curious, like, what the rationale is behind that. Are we just seeing more damage in the park that needs to be, covered, or is this just more standard with other, cities or whatever? So just curious on that percent increase for park damage and compliance deposit.
John Elholm is online as well to speak to that. So I can't see where he is. But. Chief, did you have?
Sure, Mayor Pro Tem and Councilmember Olena Sorosa, and I certainly can speak to it. John and I had a conversation regarding the parks, and yes, we have seen more damage and just more things with the park takeovers. And we have seen, and John can maybe speak to this, but to my knowledge, other cities have increased their fees for that, and we never have. I think they've been at this rate for quite some time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. I don't think we've raised them since I've been here, which is 8 years. And I've just noted that there has been a damage deposit. And then, like Chief said, we had a meeting to talk about some other issues and realized how low they are. So we're just responding to that.
Okay, thank you. And then I'm looking at the pool, meaningful percent increases in our admissions, things like that. I would expect that, I just want to validate my assumption, which is, hey, we have a new pool, and obviously everything's just more expensive. So, but is there anything else I should know about just the increases we're seeing as we think about admission? I mean, of course, or at least my understanding is that this pool operates at a deficit, so this is not a money-making thing for us. I assume we're not trying to break even, although maybe correct me if I'm wrong on how we think about that, but just curious on that, those increases there.
Yeah, so the way our fees are structured is the swimming pool admission helps pay for the lifeguards, and our swim lesson fees help pay for the instructors. In our operating budget is where you see the water and chemicals and things like that. So that's kind of the operating pays to have the facility, whereas these fees try to cover as much as we can the cost to operate for the specific program areas.
And I assume these fees are in line or maybe even less than maybe our neighbor New Hope and other water parks in the area?
Yeah, they are a little bit less than New Hope.
Okay.
Crystal has been significantly lower for many years. We haven't really kept pace with the rate that we should. So we're still affordable. That's one of the benefits of the Crystal Aquatic Center, and so we're maintaining that advantage. But because we've been so low, we do feel that it's justified to increase them, especially as was noted, to keep up with the increasing costs.
Yeah, and we do have a fairly significant increase, and so it was a balance between, how much do we increase versus, New Hopes are quite a bit higher than ours, or have been. We're less than them now, but not by a lot.
Yep. Thank you. That's helpful. Couple other questions also in recreation. I'm just noting the strike through for field attendant per hour. That's not something we offer anymore? Or can you just?
I believe that is correct.
Okay. There it is. And then also the strike through for beer vendor. Do we no longer allow beer vendors in the city?
Is that the?
Strike through a little bit, yeah, right there.
I think we covered that under other areas, so it didn't need to be separate. We have food vendors and things. The only place we've ever really had a beer vendor or do have a beer vendor is at Crystal Frolics. And that's a little bit different situation. So I think we're just trying to clean this up.
Okay, so we still allow beer to be sold here, and there's still a fee for it, we're just cleaning up the fee schedule, okay. Thank you, I'm almost done. Okay, now this is maybe for Jesse, but under engineering, right-of-way permit is increasing from $80 to $200. Can you just help me understand what that is and why we're increasing?
Mayor Pro Tem Budiszewski, Councilmember Vanessa Rosen. Yeah, I mean, that was based on what, reviewing our permit application fees and actually costs that take place during those. So a right-of-way permit is mainly for private utility companies coming in to install utilities in our right-of-way. One thing that we are removing or simplifying for residents with some of our changes in our right-of-way and curb cuts is, instead of many times residents would come in and have to get a right-of-way permit plus a curb cut permit, and each one was $80 each fee. And so now, if a resident comes in, instead of obtaining 2 permits, they're just gonna need the one right-of-way permit. Or if they need a curb cut, it's just the one curb cut permit, they're not gonna need both. So really, for a resident, when you look at those fees, instead of two $80 fees for $160, it's gonna be one $200 fee. So roughly about a $40 increase.
Got it. Thank you.
And this was another one that we were much lower than surrounding cities.
Okay. Maybe my last question for you, Adam. I mean, will this fee schedule live in Questica moving forward?
Well, it is available on our website. I guess when you ask, will it live in Questica, the information is because that we do use that to calculate with all because it's all tied together. So the data will, I guess, is that?
I'm more so just looking for, user, it's this, I don't like this view. And so will it be easier for me to look at our fee schedule in software?
So that, we haven't got to that part of the module yet, but that's something that we can, there's a lot of different cities do it a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's just a PDF, sometimes it's, separate pages for different sections. So there are things that we can do to make it more user-friendly.
User-friendly, that's the word, yep.
If that's the desire. It is, even just going through it now, discussing it, it is a long list with a lot of detail. So that's something that we can definitely, Questica or not, we can work on changing that.
Okay. All right, and with that, I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do we have to, with the modification?
With the modification?
Well, is there a modification?
Combine it.
Oh, for yours, sorry, okay.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay. Next portion of our meeting is the open forum. The city council appreciates hearing from citizens about items of concern and desires to set aside, and we desire to set aside time during each meeting for open forum. To provide ample opportunity for all, speaking time is limited to 3 minutes, and the topic of discussion is limited to 10 minutes. Mayor may, in this case, the Mayor Pro Tem, may, as a presiding officer, extend the total time allowed for a topic By rule, no action may be taken on any item brought before the council during open forum. The council may place items discussed during open forum into subsequent council meetings and agenda. Is there anybody that wishes to speak during open forum at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to approach the podium, sir?
I believe he wants to speak about delinquencies on the OPEB meeting.
We have a public hearing on that, and you can speak at that time. Okay? So I will close open forum, and at this time, we will make a motion to hear comment on a resolution approving the assessment roll for 2024 for delinquent accounts. Is there, do I need to read the next section, each year?
Yes.
Okay. Each year, the city notifies property owners of unpaid charges for city services received over the previous years, such as utility bills, nuisance abatements, administrative fines. And in August, the council set October 15th as the time for the public hearing to receive comment on the outstanding charges. After holding the public hearing and entering into the record any objections received, recommend that the council adopt a resolution approving the assessment roll for the 2024 delinquent accounts. So do I have a motion? I need to have a motion to open the public hearing, correct? Is there anyone that would like to?
I will make a
Therese?
motion to open the public hearing.
Okay, is there a second? Therese? Tracy? Got it.
I will
So
second
close.
that.
Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, public hearing is open. Sir, if you'd care to approach the podium. Is there, sorry, this is the first time I've ever done an open hearing, so I wonder if there's any additional steps I have to take?
Nope,
Okay.
we're good for now.
Okay. Sir, if you could state your name and address, and then please.
My name is Alfred Mwebi. My address is 5618 Welcome Avenue North, Crystal, Minnesota, 55429.
And sir, what brings you here today?
What brought me here is because I broke my hand and I still go on therapy and I don't work for, I've been out almost a year now. So I try to pay what I owe through my friends. Sometimes my church give me some money. So it has reached a moment where I got a letter and then I came here. When I told them my case, the front desk, they said I come today, then maybe I talk to you and I tell you my concern. So that's what brought me here. Because I got the letter saying that my bill is so high, so they're gonna go to the next step.
Okay. I guess I would like to know what are our options?
Well, I'm first trying to, do you know what the charge
Yeah.
was for, or what the delinquent, there's multiple types of delinquent.
It's total for the sewage and
The
for
utility.
the water. yeah,
Utility
utility.
charge, okay. And approximately, sir, how much is it?
It's less than 1,000. It should be 800 and something, I think.
Yeah. And then, I'm just curious, what can you do to be able to resolve this utility charge? What do you have any options that you can suggest to us at this time?
No, I don't.
You don't.
Until my doctor give me an okay to go back to work, maybe. That's the time.
And, what's the timeline for you going back to work, sir?
The letter I got, I saw him 2 weeks ago, and I want to see him for the next mid of next month. So
Yeah.
that's when he will decide whether I can go and work light duties or, yeah.
What type of work do you do, sir?
I'm a nurse.
Oh, so yeah, a skilled individual, very much so. And then, so so you would like to have an extension on being able to pay your bill? Is that what you're asking for at this time, or are you looking for, do you think that you'll be able to resolve this? If you go back to work, next month, how long do you think it'll take you to resolve this bill?
Next month, when he's going to observe my hand next month, he's going to give me the next step. I don't know whether I will go back to work or I will continue with my therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, so-
Yeah, and so right now you're on disability of some type, sir?
No,
You're not?
no,
So the injury didn't happen at work, I take it?
he did.
It did happen at work. So are you under any kind of, well, maybe I'm going way out on a limb here, but anyway, so you're asking for more time, and basically we need, Taji?
Just a point of clarification. So the only thing that we have discretion over is the $35 administrative charge. Is that accurate?
Great question.
The council would have discretion over that. It's within the council's prerogative to basically direct staff, however it would like to do, whatever it would like staff to do. What staff's recommendation typically is to adopt the role, and if we're directed to work with specific, appellants,
Yeah.
we can do that. In this case, it was I had just given that to Mayor Pro Tem. It was a $377 charge, and I don't have the information as to how many months late. These are going back, so it's encompassing everything from essentially last August to this August.
Yes, it's since last August because that's when I broke my hand.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've been paying as I get. Sometimes I remember somebody gave me 100, I brought it here. And my church gave me 150, I brought it here. So I usually bring when I get it. So.
Was it delinquent prior to August of last year?
No.
No, this
no.
year.
No.
So the $800, that's what his thing is?
377.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
he said 800, okay.
I thought you said 1,000.
Yeah, and then he said like 800.
Yeah, so the charge here, sir, I see is $377.68. So you've been periodically bringing money to the city hall here to pay down your utility bill.
Yeah, when I get.
Okay.
But now I was scared because when I got the letter,
Yes,
then
yeah.
I didn't know what to do because I didn't know whether they will come and shut my water, so I didn't know.
Right.
What. So they told me to come here and explain my situation then.
Tracy,
So it was 800, it's now down to 300 and something.
377.68,
The current balance as of today is 377 and
68 cents.
68
Okay,
cents.
so it was paid down to,
Therese?
Who lives at your house with you? Who lives with you at the house? Do you have family? Do you have a spouse or,
My children, my mom,
okay, how many people are living in your house?
5.
Five. And so your the balance was 800 and you paid it down to 377? Do I understand that right?
It sounds that way, yeah, very much so.
I don't have the detailed information for that account. Obviously, quarterly, it's billed, and there's, incurring charges.
Yeah.
So there would be a balance carried over at any point that the full balance isn't paid off. But the current, as of today, that was printed off today, and it's down to 377. So, but I don't know and that was as of August, so because of that's when we have to call a hearing, and that's the time frame so there may be additional charges. That's the delinquent amount. So I just want to clarify that. The delinquent amount is the 377.
Okay.
Plus
There
we
may
have-
be another bill that he's received since August with the new total balance.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So what are our options tonight?
We can adopt the assessment roll as is, or we can direct staff to work directly with this gentleman to resolve. We can remove him from the assessment roll, and we can have staff work with him to, figure out a plan and to deal with the delinquent amount. And, that would be my suggestion, would be to adopt the role, removing Alfred from the assessment role, and then having a direct staff to work with him to get his account in arrears. So that makes any sense.
I would Also support that.
Do we have a response here?
I was Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, council members, the way we've usually done this in the past is the council adopts the assessment rule as presented, but directs staff to work with the people appearing, and then any changes would be brought back to you at your next meeting on November 19th, because that's still prior to the deadline by which we have to actually send the certifications into Hennepin County. So at that point, staff typically would present either in the meeting or in a memo apart from the meeting of how it was resolved. And then if the council wants to take different action at that time, they can. But usually in the past, after seeing this for many years, even though utilities is literally not my department, it's typically what happens.
Okay.
Is you adopt the rule as presented, you give any direction you want to staff as part of that motion, and then staff comes back to you at your next meeting, which this time would be November 19th, which is before our deadline to certify the amounts to the county.
Anybody have any other comment? Haji?
Comment. Would we need to, if we wanted to, would we need to make a decision on the administrative charge, since that will be added on October 17th? Or is that something that could wait until the November 19th?
The council could, at that point, modify the actual charge.
In November, we could do that even after the 17th date?
Correct. The council action, if the council wants to modify it, if this one is being kind of pulled out.
Yep.
You can modify it by removing the $35 administrative charge at that time. Still would have that opportunity.
Okay.
Would anybody like care to make a motion, or?
Do we have to close?
We gotta close.
Okay, a motion to close the open hearing.
I'll make a motion
Therese?
to close the open hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, sir. You can sit down if you like. All right, and then we need a motion to approve the resolution adopting the assessment rules for the 2024 delinquent accounts, but recognizing that the staff will work with the individual who offered to, who attended tonight's meeting to determine a resolution before our November meeting. Is there,
I guess just a question, like, I don't know if we're asking staff to do anything unique. I mean, I assume if anyone came to the city wanting to, like, I don't even know what we would really do. I'm not necessarily in favor of, like, waiving this administrative charge. So I guess I'm not quite sure what staff would even do here.
Obviously, anytime there's delinquent accounts, we try to work with the customer, the utility customer, and there's 9,000 utility customers basically in the city that we, administer the utilities for. We have not, so through that process, and depending on what time of year it is, any that are still delinquent at the cutoff date in August, that's when those are then brought to the council for assessment. We do not turn off water. Some cities do that. We go the other route of assessing these, so they're put on their property taxes, as outlined. We do not typically have like set payment plans. Obviously, we work with them, but at some point, the city does need the city has to get not just the revenue, but, the payment for the service that was provided. So any type of, but again, the council can direct us to, do things differently. One of the options, if it wasn't assessed, then if it's still delinquent come next year, that would be, that future conversation. If we were to, the gentleman, if he, goes back to work and can able over time catch up, bring it current, obviously, when you do that, and you have 9,000 customers, that can potentially be problematic. We have not, there's one person who came tonight, so it's not going to, break the city's funds to accommodate that. It's just where, as a policy matter, how often can we afford to do that?
Yep.
But as you noted, that would be really the only thing, because if we don't assess it by the end of the year, then we have to wait till the following year to assess it again. So that's, and once we assess it, then, after the next meeting on the 19th, then it will be forwarded to the county, and with the fees and the interest will accrue.
Yep. Okay, thank you for that explanation. I think, to be very clear, what our city manager said, I mean, no services will be turned off, so that's good. You mentioned that, and so no concern there. For me, this is a pretty black and white situation. I do not want to set precedent of, well, we're going to waive this or do this different or whatever, so that's where I stand. So I would like to just approve this as is.
I agree with that. Was that a motion?
Would you care, make a motion?
Yeah, I'm happy to make a motion. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution adopting the assessment roll for 2024 delinquent accounts.
Tracy?
I will second that.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed.
Mayor Pro Tem, sir, I'll get your information, and I will speak to you. I will reach out to you and discuss the issue with you, okay?
All right, moving on to our regular agenda. First item on our regular agenda is the approval of disbursements over $25,000 submitted by the Finance Department to the City Council. A list that's on file in the office of the Finance Department. And the first item is Nick's Tree Service for $54,700. Odessa 2 LLC is for the West Metro Fire Rescue District parking lot replacement for $108,764. Minnesota PERA is employee and city required contributions for the September 27th, 24 pay date of $71,702.91. Health Partners, Inc., which is the October health insurance premiums for $140,867. And the IRS electronic funds transfer payment system, for which is federal and FICA withholding taxes for September 27th, 24 pay date of $71,036.62 for a total of $447,070.53. Is there any questions regarding this list of charges? No? Is there a motion approving the charges? Therese?
I'll make a motion to approve expenditures over 25,000.
And Taji, your second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next item on our list is council will consider a resolution authorizing a joint powers agreement, JPA, with Bassett Creek Watershed Management Commission, and our Public Works Director, Jesse Strube, is here to talk to us about that.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, Jesse Struve, Public Works Director and City Engineer. The Bassett Creek Watershed Commission has been around, we've been part of that since 1969. The partnership has been good. They help lead the rules and regulations for development of watershed or water runoff regulations. The city defers to this organization for those rules and review of a lot of the permits. There's 9 member cities as part of the Bassett Creek watershed area. Again, the last agreement was for a 20-year, or I believe it was a 10-year term that was extended 2 times out to 20 years. It does expire at the end of this year, and so they're looking for all member cities to approve the new joint powers agreement. There's been relatively minor changes in the agreement. They cleaned up a bunch of the language. They didn't really revise a lot of the rules and regulations much. This new agreement is for an 8-year term to align with their, when they have to go through and redo their master comp plan as well. So they did take comments from all the communities and did make some revisions based on those comments as well. It would be staff's recommendation to approve the joint powers agreement, and happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Are there any questions? All right, no questions at this time. I think, is there a motion? Tracy?
I will make a motion to approve the joint powers agreement for the 2025 JCPP liaison.
Is there a second?
Sorry, the Bassett Creek.
Oh, wait, where are we, 7-2? 7-2. Oh, here we go, okay. Authorize joint powers agreement between the City of Crystal and Bassett Creek Watershed Management Commission.
Reese?
I will second that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Next item on our agenda is the council will consider the first reading of an ordinance to change the name of the Environmental Quality Commission, the EQC, to the Sustainability Commission. And is there anyone?
I will
Okay.
take that. Catch up here. So as the council is familiar, at the end of 2023, the EQC, the Environmental Quality Commission, was essentially suspended due to lack of membership and lack of direction. Over the past year, I have been working with the council to kind of work on how to refocus it, and provide some true direction. And one of the things that came as a result of those conversations was to change the name, broaden the scope from just environmental quality to incorporate other additional sustainability issues. The council at the September 12th work session where we discussed this, staff had proposed, I had proposed to change it to the Sustainability Commission. And so in order to do that, we do need to adopt the new establishing ordinance, which is what is before the council tonight to do that. And it was fairly straightforward, as you can see with the proposed amendment. Nothing has changed from the EQC except for a couple of things. I know one of the items that was discussed was the makeup of the members of the commission. And what we had done is one of the comments was the most or the least restrictive with restrictions. In order to get a balance, it does have 10 members still. In order to have a balance of across kind of a diverse representation across the city, we were going to have it split between there'll be 2 at large and then 4 and 4 4 within each section. The terms would be staggered, but I thought that after having gone through it with staff and trying to hit that target of, not too restrictive, but still have some kind of forced or at least encouraged broad representation across the city. That's what I'd come up with. The council, of course, if you'd like to change that, that was one of the items of discussion. What that does is it gives at least 4 from each section, and then if there's the other 6 because of the 2 at large and 2 from the other section, that still gives a fairly good kind of core number of people if the city only receives interest from, essentially half the geographic sections of the city. That was the big change, or the big update. Otherwise, this will essentially structurally, from the organization or establishment case, be the same as the EQC. In the November 19th meeting, the actual bylaws, that typically all those amendments are done at the commission level, but because this is something new, that's something that the council needs to adopt. Or I think it would be prudent for the council to adopt it. So I'll be bringing those forward at the November meeting. But now, once the name is changed, then we'll kick off the recruitment campaign and try to solicit new commissioners for this commission.
Thank you. Is there any discussion regarding Tracy?
Just a question on the commission members. Are all of them going to be equal voice? Or is there going to be like a head one? Or is that something that would be discussed in the bylaws or how?
So the bylaws will, it'll have a chair, typically, the officers of the commission, as all of our commissions do. But the votes will be the same. So everybody will be, equal, but some will be more equal, as far as officers of the commission. And those are outlined, those will be outlined in the bylaws.
Just one comment. From the EQC, it seemed like large portion of the membership was from like the same area. So it was like, whenever membership declined, they would just find a neighbor to apply and be on the commission. So I think the idea of being able to structure it throughout the city might be a good thing. See how it goes, see how it works. So anybody else have any comments?
What's the
Teresa?
timeline for this? When do you see this?
Well, we're going to start recruiting here, within this week.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've been working with Mike Peterson, the communications coordinator, and we're about ready to start blasting out the recruitment. Because this is a new commission, we'd like to get, depending on how quickly people, I think there is interest out in the community. And so hopefully we have, a good number of applicants by the end of the year. We do have other commission interviews scheduled. Well, we don't actually have the applications yet, but tentatively scheduled for the November work session, as we did last year. That's when we typically have that.
Okay.
But by the end of the year, we hope to be able to we may have some interviews in December. But the commission hopefully will be, we'll have a core body of commissioners to be able to meet beginning of January.
Okay, thank you.
That's the goal.
Okay.
What the plan is.
David?
Just a few things. One, 10 seems like a lot, but I don't want to lower the number too. Maybe we'll get a lot more people than I just would assume. My other thought too is I do note in 205 on there, it says at least 15 years old, and maybe part of the recruitment could be trying to find some high school age people or college age folks that could do that. So maybe that'd be a point of emphasis for outreach.
So leave it at 15.
Yep.
But encourage the
Yeah, and
more youthful.
yeah, I'm pessimistic we'll find someone because I know, people at that age are busy and they may not think about joining a city commission, but leaving it out there and maybe trying to find ways to get folks who are of that age, because I feel like that'd be a pretty important topic for those folks. So, and then one other thing that Forrest mentioned, I think at our work session, he mentioned that, and I remember from the interviews, there might be a couple Parks and Rec members that are on the commission now that might jump over. I wouldn't be surprised, because I remember them talking about, one guy in particular that is on the Parks and Rec now, he mentioned that he was hoping for something kind of like this. So just a thought, you might see that, you might see a little attrition from the Parks and Rec to come over to that, so.
I am aware of a couple of those. One of the other items that was not necessarily addressed in the ordinance is the tree board. That was discussed at the work session, and where should that live? John Elholm and I discussed it. His sense was that the Park Commission enjoyed doing that. I don't know if it's something that, and we can continue to discuss that. Currently, the Park Commission hosts the Arbor Day events. I think if it was to remain in the, whatever that tree board actually is, there's not a lot of work that they do other than host the Arbor Day event. But that commission really enjoys doing that, being part of that. Obviously, we shouldn't have conflicting. I mean, we're all one city, all the commissions should cooperate. So that's something that I know was mentioned at the work session. Councilmember?
Who's going to decide where the tree board lives?
That, it should be it would be the council.
Okay. Well, I have a strong opinion. It's not a strong opinion. My opinion is that the Sustainability Commission becomes the tree board and hosts Arbor Day. I know the Parks and Rec Commission enjoys it. I enjoyed it when I was on the Parks and Rec Commission. But the Parks and Rec Commission has a lot of stuff already happening. They have their neighborhood meetings. I mean, they're doing a lot. It'd be great to, as we're building this new commission, let's give them kind of, maybe this is one of their signature events. It'll just add some weight to this new commission that we're standing up. So I am strongly in favor of having our Sustainability Commission also serve as our tree board. What is it called, tree board?
And it's part of the Tree City program.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, they should run that, they should speak into that, they should help us innovate. I mean, yeah, so that's my opinion.
Any discussion on that? David?
That seems like a really good idea. It just seems like a good fit. And I would be hesitant to say the Parks and Rec should not do Arbor Day, but good point about the Parks and Rec also does all those summer events, which is really great. And those are, they move around the city, and those are really good events. So that would be I think that's a good idea for them to work with the Arbor Day event.
I would, because John's department and the Park Commission does such a great job, I think it would be appropriate to have the Sustainability Commission be the official tree board, because it's really just a designation that the city has one. Again, they don't do a lot of work currently other than the Arbor Day event. I think it shouldn't be a problem to have a joint, it's a citywide event, and have the Park Commission and the Recreation Department does a great job, and they have obviously they have a staff for the Parks and Rec to put on the event, but it would be so there's the event, and then there's the actual tree board. I don't think that they need to be in conflict or necessarily, there's not an ownership, if you will. So if we have to formally just designate the sustainability, not have to, but if we want to designate the Sustainability Commission as the tree board, and on paper it lives there, we're not going to take anything away from the Recreation Department and the Park Commission from jointly hosting this event. I guess that would be my input.
Taji?
I agree with that. I think that's a great idea, because we're usually planting these trees at a park. So this is just great. So this should be a joint event. It's going to be huge. I love it. I think it's great.
Tracy?
Just a question, is Brad a staff liaison for, I know he goes to the Parks and Rec, but he's not official.
He's not an official liaison. He does attend the majority, if not all, the Park Commission.
So if we're doing tree board with sustainability, would he be a good fit for that? Can we?
Would you do double
We can
duty?
find more time to squeeze out of him. But he obviously, with the forestry, with forestry is a big part of sustainability. And it's obviously a huge issue for our city. He will be heavily involved in the operations. He'll be an integral part of those conversations. So I would expect him to, if not attend every meeting, be heavily involved, as often a lot of us are across the commissions. So.
Are there any other questions? Is there a motion for the first reading? David?
Where'd you gotta find it?
7.3.
7.3, I make a motion to approve the ordinance to change the name from the Environmental Quality Commission to the Sustainability Commission.
Is there a second? Tracy?
I will second that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Looks like the motion passes. All right. The council will consider an approval of a joint powers agreement for the 2025 Joint Community Police Partnership Liaison. And we have our chief, Revering, here to talk to us about this.
Thanks, Mayor Pro Tem Budiszewski and members of the council. Since 2017, we have partnered with Hennepin County regarding the Joint Community Police Partnership Program. And we, along with 10 other cities, have been a part of this program for quite some time, which we embed a liaison from Hennepin County. However, we do pay 30% of that person's salary and benefits. I do apologize because in 2022, we shared, so we started off with our own liaison in 2017. And then in 2022, we ended up sharing 2 liaisons with us, New Hope, and Robbinsdale. And now since 2024, we have gone back to us having our own and New Hope and Robbinsdale actually having their own as well. So you do see an increase in the price here, not just because of that, but also because of a pay increase for this particular position within Hennepin County. We do have the funds for this. It was already put into the 2025 budget. I'm just looking for a motion for approval.
Are there any questions regarding this? Haji?
Just a comment, this is such a wonderful program. The person that we have in this role is just wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I will enthusiastically be supporting this resolution.
Any, Therese?
I'll second it.
Oh, we haven't gotten that far.
I thought he made a motion.
Well,
Sorry.
not good. Any other comments? David?
Yeah, how much was the increase for us then?
I think it's about $7,000 increase.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Cool, gotcha.
Is there a motion? Therese? Tracy? God, I'm on fire, aren't I? Gosh, I am just going right down the...
I will make a motion to approve the joint powers agreement for the 2025 JCPP liaison.
Is there a second? Haji?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, the council, thank you. The council will consider a memorandum of understanding with Law Enforcement Labor Services, Local 56, for the 2025 insurance contribution. And we have Kim Terrace, our Assistant City Manager, to talk to us about that.
Yep, so this is the agreement or memorandum of understanding with our Local 56, which is our police supervisors union. And so as you know, the city council approved a 3-year agreement for 2023 through 2025 with Local 56, our police supervisors, with it, which included a reopener for the 2025. Sole purpose is only for negotiating the employer contribution towards the group health insurance premiums. As we stated in previous meetings, the insurance premium for our pool had a cap increase of 9.1% for 2025, but due to our experience ratings and overall insurance premiums for the city are actually only increasing about 7.3% in 2025. So as in past practice, the city and employee continue to share in the cost of the premium increases, and we have the proposal in front of you. The 2025 proposed budget does include sufficient funds for this proposed settlement, and we do recommend approval of the memorandum and authorize the city manager to sign on behalf of the city. This is the same agreement or same amounts that were recently approved with the local 44 police officers as well as the non-represented.
Are there any questions? Seeing none at this time, is there a motion? I can make that motion. I make a motion approving the memorandum of understanding with Law Enforcement Labor Services, Local 56, for the 2025 insurance contributions. Is there a second? Therese?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And that concludes our agenda for today. I do have some announcements that I'll read at this time. Due to the general election on Tuesday, November 5th, the next council meeting is Tuesday, November 19th at 7 p.m. in the council chambers in City Hall. On election day, the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Election information is available at our website, which is www.crystalminnesota.gov or www.mnvotes.gov. City offices will be closed on Monday, November 11th, in observance of the Veterans Day holiday. And the City Council will hold a work session on Thursday, November 14th at 6:30 p.m. in Conference Room A in City Hall and via Zoom. City Council meetings and work sessions are open to the public, and current and previous meetings are available for viewing and listening at our website, which is crystalmn.gov. Are there any other David?
I would just also add for the, for voting, you can vote at Crystal City Hall, and they have extended hours the weekend before, so the second and third, which I think is new this election cycle. Otherwise, it's 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. It's also the following weekend of the October 26th, 9 to 3 p.m. So there's lots of time to get out and vote early, and you can also vote absentee as well. So want to get that out there.
Are there any other announcements? Chief?
I am so sorry. Another screw-up of mine that I do regularly is forget to put on announcements. Our Tri-City Community Forum is October 29th.
Yes.
From 6:30 PM to 8 PM at the Crystal Community Center in Adams. Am I wrong on that date?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
I thought I saw it was on the last agenda.
Oh, yeah, that was a screw-up. See, again, my screw-up. I mean, you're going to have several of these but no, it did get moved to October 29th.
All right.
Real quick, Chief?
Oh, yes.
Because I think through my stomach, are there refreshments and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. We will have refreshments,
Okay.
soda, water, cookies.
Cookies, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Good.
All right, that concludes our announcements. Is there a motion to adjourn?
You're not gonna do.
I'm gonna, Therese,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
is there a second? Tracy,
I will second that.
all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And that concludes our meeting for tonight.